What do you think about friends with benefits? Have you ever been in that situation? Before we start with the first story, please hit a subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Number 10. Few times, one turned into a 2-year relationship and ended on friendly terms. Second went up like a nuke. First time we met was in a date capacity. We had 3 dates before doing anything. Third date was in the afternoon, and she went out that night and hooked up with someone. We both agreed that given she did that, and I wasn't overly fussed, we probably shouldn't date, and left it at that. 6 months later, she drops a message, one thing to another, and we agree to be friends with benefit. We met up once a week/fortnight for 6 months. We had an agreement if any feelings popped up, we'd tell the other person and cut it off. We'd also agreed each month we'd both check in with the other to make sure we're still happy as friends with benefit. And lastly, if any one of us went on a date with anyone else, we'd knock it on the head if the date went well, plus tell them we were going on a date. Everything was going fine, then 6 months in someone asked if I wanted to try a date. So told the friends with benefit I was trying to date, had a real nice night, and felt an instant connection. So told the friends with benefit, and we both agreed it was time to knock it on the head then. Next day I wake up to a barrage of abuse for wasting her time for 6 months, from her mates and family I had never met, some of our mutual friend group, the entire package. Edit. As this is gaining a bit more traction than I anticipated, I'd just like to add there's no trouble on my end or her on her end after that initial barrage. Both gone our separate ways, and that's that. I don't think the reaction was done out of malice or anything, just something built up as a what-if type scenario. Number 9. I had that for 2 years with a close friend. We never had romantic feelings, but we're super close. After we both went through breakups at the same time, roughly, we just had a funny should-we moment and tried it. It was 2 years of the absolute most guilt-free amazing sex we ever had. It ended when she started seeing someone, and it sucked, but no hard feelings. How do you go about that? Did you tell her, hey, we can but no strings attached? Or please don't catch feelings, we're exclusively buddies, but nothing more? Or is it an unspoken rule that you don't get to fall for the other? How do you make sure you're on the same page as the other? I'm currently going through this, and by the way things are going, it's pretty clear, we're pretty soon. I wouldn't mind dating her, she's fun after all, but I also don't mind if we stay as we are right now. Number 8. I drunk messaged her at 3 a.m. on Facebook and asked her if she wanted to be friends with benefit. She said maybe. We've been married 7.5 years. Ah, y'all became family with babies? Number 7. Numerous time. It's awesome for a while. I had a couple last years. Someone catches feelings, so every time. Once it's over, it's kinda sad because you also lose a friend. If you'd have the opportunity, I'd take it. Number 6. I dislike the term because it's misleading. In friendship, even when it is based on a very altruistic and caring foundation, it is always with the expectation of a benefit, whatever the form it takes. Yes, pragmatically speaking, I believe a large part of human relationship are contractualist with varying degrees. In this peculiar case, the transaction implied in the contract is sex less love interest nor money. I know a better fitting coin term would be sex synergistic friendship. 2 friends sleeping together are able to get a beneficial satisfaction, having a greater benefit than what they could produce individually, bringing in form of harmony without the constraints of an official couple. I don't judge it good or bad, it's one of the multiple ways our kin can deal with a physiologic and emotional need. 2 close friends concerned about their need for autonomy could find in it a relieving compromise. I'm not in such situation, but I would mind because I'm not comfortable with too much love commitment, having witnessed many relationships that ended very badly, both in my family and in my circle of friends. I couldn't stand the bitterness and open to stain it could produce. Number 5. Lots of fun and mutually beneficial. In my experience, most folks saying that eventually someone catches feelings are correct. However, most of the distress here can be avoided by thorough communication and not exploiting that person for your own selfish desires by making a decision at that crossroad to either end things for their benefit or decide if a legitimate relationship is worth the shot. Like every other human interaction, it's completely spoiled by bad communication, but the stakes are a little higher. These things can lack clear communication. You want to be friends with benefit. Okay, then fail to communicate effectively after that, like remind readers. Boundaries need to be discussed. I've had to, and I will never do it again. Was pursued at first like a potential date, figured I wasn't good material, and he settled, because I agreed to the sex part, and hanging out for all hours. Mainly because I was trying to figure out what it was about me that made him change his mind. Never did lol. I caught feelings for this person. He continued to remind me passive-aggressively that it was just sex, and it wouldn't go beyond that. I was well aware, but it still made me feel like crap about myself because he felt the need to remind me about it quite often. Couldn't figure out why he wanted to keep doing it. I was hoping he'd break it off. I rarely contacted him. When he contacted me, we'd hang out for hours, and he didn't even seem interested in sex. Couldn't get an erection / go soft, etc., etc. When I'd put forth an effort to have it. It made no sense to me. I'd even said he could just lie there, let me do all the work, and I'd go home. There was no need for us to hang. Didn't want that either. Could not figure this person out. Finally had to set some clear boundaries about how I wanted to be treated in this. I haven't heard from him since. It was an absolute mess. Felt like I was being mind more than physically. Note, I enjoy the time we shared, but it really took a hit on my self-esteem, and it took me over a year to get it back. The whole thing just made me feel utterly worthless. The second one was poly and made me feel better about myself and was exactly what I needed after the first one. We still talk to this date. You can still care about someone, connect, be intimate with them in a non-sexual manner, and know it's not going to end up in a relationship. That's what was lacking in the first one. Sorry, this ended up being event post lol. Thank you, Redditors. Number 4. I was in a sort of friends with benefits thing. Mostly would just hang out with this girl, and if we were alone she said I had free reign to play with boobs. Never fully went all the way though. I eventually developed some feelings that she didn't share, and we went separate ways. Feels like that's how most friends with benefit situations go. Number 3. It's fun and exciting, but eventually it becomes harmful because at least one person develops serious feelings. I feel a lot of the comments here are from relationships where one side was intending to build something more, or that it was like a best friend and then it got more serious. A very Seinfeld scenario. But I found that the sweet spot is a friend who aren't super close with. A friend you'd see every few months, probably thanks to mutual invites to something from another friend. The type you wish a happy birthday but don't stay and chat. Those ones work really well. Obviously it's not every week hooking up, but if they're around and you're around, then cool, come over type. There's friends I've had in the past where guaranteed if we were meeting we'd be hooking up, and it was fun, carefree, mutual, and enough. Those end when the other gets in a more serious relationship, and there's no hard feelings. You still see them at a friend's house from time to time, and they're doing well, and you're happy for them. Number 2. I have. It was fun, and was what we both needed at the time. She actually was the one who told me to really commit to the woman who is now my girlfriend. And I'm glad. Number 1. Yes, just don't catch feelings or you're fucked. I had a bunch of friends with benefit with no problem. Then I hooked up with this girl a few times and I caught feelings. She was disappointed when I told her I wanted to date her rather than just her, but she agreed. We've been married for 20 years now. Alright folks, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us today. If you like more of this, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your own story or thoughts in the comments below. We love to hear from you. I'll see you in the next video.